Peter Speropulos Jr. A lot of times people ask me, say, is that Greek? And I says, no, it's Upper East Tennessee, and they kind of look at you strange like. And so I've been here 82 years, and it was here before I got here. But my folks came to East Tennessee in 1931 during the Depression. They first came to Elizabethton, where my Uncle Tom had a restaurant right there on the main street in Elizabethton. It was called Tom's Sweet Shop. But through the years, we had the restaurants. That's what my folks were primarily. It had the Victor Cafe on Main Street, and had the Roan restaurant on Market Street, which was the Roan restaurant was directly across from the front door of the Johnsonville Hotel. Really, in those days, probably the premier restaurant between Roanoke and Knoxville. There was Lobsters, Pompano, sirloin, T-bone steaks, porterhouse steaks. Were well-known restaurants back in those days. But back in those days, hard-working. You worked 18 hours a day in the restaurant business, and from 5, 6 o'clock in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock at night. But as we progressed in the years, my folks have worked many long hours, and so they thought it best if they sent me down to Lebanon, Tennessee, to a school called Castle Heights Military Academy. And I went there in the 8th grade and stayed there for 5 years and graduated Castle Heights Military School. Fine institution. When I got into the 10th grade, I became a waiter. Now, as a waiter, we would bring the food out to the table, and each table there were 10 boys at each table, and we had to see that they got fed properly, home-style dishes, pick them up, take them back. Made $7 a week waiting on tables. We lived just 3 doors down from Southwest Avenue. Now, if some of y'all will remember, down on the corner down the way was Frizzell's Dairy. Later in, they built a big building there on the corner of Southwest Avenue and Walnut Street, and that was Foremost Dairies. That was fun because as a youngster, remember when they were putting up the steel, all the steel in the building? Me and a couple of the other neighborhood kids, we'd get up on those steel beams and we'd play tag. Someone called my mother and said, you better do something with your boy, they're going to get killed up there walking on those beams. Then later on, many years, I remember the National Guard moved in, took over that building. And there was an empty lot right next door to Red Band Flour Mill. So they parked their tanks down there. So I know one day me and 2 or 3 of my other friends, we got down there, and government property, no one's going to steal government property, you would think, so they don't have keys on them. We all jumped in them, got a Jeep started, got a great big truck started, got this wrecker started, and we thought it'd be fun if we take them down the street. So we pulled out, went down Walnut Street, went out to East Tennessee State College at that time, went through the college, came up on Southwest Avenue, came back down Southwest Avenue. About the time I got on Southwest Avenue, I turned the sirens on that wrecker. Lights are going, pulled in, parked them, and then we ran. My childhood sweetheart, Sylvia, I'd say call her my childhood sweetheart because I was in their home when I was in the 5th grade. So I've known my wife for all those many, many years. And when I was 20 years old, Sylvia's a year and a half older than I am. I always hold this over her head. Or she tells me, hey, I'm your senior, be good. My mother, myself, and Sylvia went down to the courthouse, and Mama signed me over to Sylvia, I always said, and she became my legal guardian. She's always said if I could only waited 3 more months, we'd have gotten through that. But we were married. This was in '55, and still stayed in the food business. So it's been a good night when Sylvia and I bed down about 10:30 at night. It's been a good evening. It's kind of that special time when you kind of cuddled up to each other and someone lays on the other person's shoulder, and there's that good night kiss, and we always say good night. One of us always says it's been a good ride. That's about the only thing I can say to it, is that it's been a good ride.